AITA for telling my daughter I don't want her. I, female 41, was SA'd in college. I ended up getting pregnant from it. I was raised by an extremely religious family. I do not believe in termination for myself and decided to carry the pregnancy until term. I gave the healthy baby up for adoption. I asked to seal my records, which this means they could not legally give any information to the adoptive parents or the child. I prayed that my daughter got a good life in a loving family, which would have not been possible if I had kept her. I didn't wish her any harm, but I could not keep her knowing she came from something so horrible. I was unable to give her the life she needed or deserved. The essay was one of the worst moments in my life. My family believed that I must have done something to cause it. It was very traumatic. Since then, I have worked very hard in therapy to process and cope with what happened to me. Today, I was at the hospital where I work. A woman came in looking for me. It was my daughter, now 19 years old. She somehow found me regardless of my file being sealed. While doing research on how this was possible, I found that this is actually a common occurrence. A bunch of emotions overwhelmed me, and I didn't know how to react when she told me she was my daughter. I told her that it was completely not okay for her to show up like this at my job, especially since I did not wish to be found. She kept saying that she always wanted to meet me and she wanted to build a relationship with me. I told her no. I told her that I do not want a relationship with her. I told her I purposely did not want any information to be exposed and sealed my records. I also told her that I'm sorry that she was brought into this world under horrible circumstances and that I'm sorry for not being able to give her a good life, that I put her up for adoption so that she could have the best possible chance of getting a good life. I told her I'm praying for her and that I am truly sorry that the circumstances of her conception was a traumatic time for me, that it wasn't her fault, it was just the circumstance. She kept insisting, but I kept saying no. By this time, seeing her gave me memories of that traumatic time. I told her I need to go and I tried to hold in my emotions. She then started screaming at me how I abandoned her and that I owed her. Security had to come and escort her out. It was such an awful experience. It was like I was reliving my assault all over again. I felt people staring at me and I knew they were judging. The nurse that was at the desk just gave me a dirty look. I don't know how to feel about this. AITA for making my wife ride in the back seat because she couldn't stop distracting me. This happened over the holidays, and my wife is still upset with me over it. Our family went to visit my in laws for New Year's. It's about a 3 to 4 hour drive, mostly highway, but it takes us through two metro areas with pretty significant traffic. My wife, 35 female, gets nervous about driving in traffic, so I always drive when we visit her family. She also tends to get car sick on longer drives and needs to sit in the front seat to help ease it. She has tried taking Dramamine in the past, but she's had an allergic reaction to it, so she doesn't take it anymore. I love my wife with all my heart, but she is not good sitting shotgun. She makes huge reactions to any change in traffic, grabbing the handle, putting her hand on the dash, gasping, telling me to watch out, etc. It's not like I'm an aggressive or risky driver. I've never gotten a speeding ticket or been in an accident, but if there's a car a half mile ahead of us that puts on their brakes, she freaks out and acts like we're all about to die. It's incredibly distracting. I've talked to her multiple times about how her reactions actually makes it more difficult for me to concentrate on driving, but she says she can't control herself because she's nervous in traffic. On the way to her family's place, she sat up front with me and traffic was pretty bad. Lots of slowdowns due to weather conditions and in general just kind of slow going. But I've been driving in cold weather my whole life and know how to control my speed and give lots of extra space to any surrounding cars. I understand that you can't control anyone else on the road and that accidents happen, but I do everything in my control to keep my car and the people inside safe. The entire drive, my wife was on edge, making all the reactions I mentioned. It's very distracting to have someone next to you doing that sort of thing while driving. I mentioned this to my wife numerous times on the drive, and she always deflected blame at me for the way I was driving. When we were getting ready to head home, I told my wife she needs to sit in the back and our 14-year-old son will sit up front with me. I told her it's either that or she drives us home. She got upset with me, started giving excuses about her car sickness. I told her to take some NyQuil or something else to help her sleep, but she refused and told me I'm being a jerk. I told her that she can drive then, and she refused that too. Eventually, she reluctantly got in the back seat with our 11-year-old daughter. The ride home was much easier, traffic wise, and my wife sat pretty much silent in the back seat the entire time, pouting. When we got home, she told me that she felt ill the entire drive, but didn't say anything because she didn't want to make a big deal out of anything. She told me I humiliated her by making her sit in the back and that I should be more considerate of her feelings. AITA for considering giving my daughter's grandparents full custody after her mom died during childbirth. I, male 26, my girlfriend died from complications during childbirth, leaving me to raise our daughter alone. That's not something I expected or prepared for, but it's the situation I'm in. In the first few weeks, I handled what needed to be handled. I made medical decisions, took care of the funeral, and made sure my daughter was safe. Pretty quickly, though, I realized that trying to do everything on my own while grieving wasn't sustainable. I wasn't sleeping, my head wasn't clear, and I wasn't going to pretend that pushing through automatically made me a better father. My girlfriend's parents stepped in and offered to care for my daughter temporarily. They're stable, experienced, and deeply invested in her. She's been with them for a while now and she's thriving. I'm still involved. I visit regularly, contribute financially, and have a say in decisions. But the day to day responsibility isn't on me right now. The longer this goes, the more I've had to be honest with myself. I love my daughter, but I'm not sure I'm in the best position to be a full time single parent, at least not anytime soon. Her grandparents can give her consistency, a built in support system, and a calm home that I can't fully offer right now. I've started thinking about whether giving them full custody might actually be the most responsible long term decision, with me remaining actively involved in her life. This wouldn't be about disappearing, it would be a legal arrangement to give her stability while I continue to be present and supportive. Some people say even considering this makes me a bad father, that a real dad would never think about giving up custody. Others say it's better to choose what's best for the child instead of holding on to a role I'm not ready to fill just to satisfy expectations. I'm not running from responsibility. I'm trying to make a clear headed decision about my daughter's future, not my pride. AITA